Howdy there, Angelarts and all others who watch. My name's Devin. I'm 23 from Texas, Central Time Zone. Um, I have a little bit of experience in tabletop games, about a few months or so. And before I dive into my character concept, I want to preface it by saying that, when I made it, it was with the idea that it would be set in our world. So, I'll be using a lot of, terms and names from our real life. And so, my character's name is Alex. He is a kind of He's a doctor or professor in a historical field that studies how uh, ancient human civilizations, or how I should say, how human civilization in the past worked with Pokemon in their day-to-day life. Not necessarily ancient human, just human in general, in the historical sense. And his focus is on how the Native American tribes went about doing this. Now, Alex himself, he is very normally kind of quiet and reserved kind of individual, very polite, and but this is kind of flipped on its head when it comes to anything of a historical nature, not necessarily even within the scope of his field of study, but anything historic. He becomes very excitable and very almost filled with electrified. And so, and like if he knows about it, if you ask about it and he knows, he will happily give out that information. And if it's about something that he doesn't know about, he'll drink in that information like it's water. And so, to kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum, his Pokemon is a Misdreavus, a ghost type Pokemon that is kind of famous for being for scaring people and pulling pranks. And so, how I envisioned they met is one day he and his parents went on vacation to the Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico, and uh, while there, he, being how he is, decided to run off and explore on his own because others were holding him back. And so of course he got lost, and while wandering around trying to find his way back, a Misdreavus came along, and it saw him and it was like, oh, perfect, someone I can scare. And when it tried to, and it didn't work. In fact, he was more intrigued than scared by the Pokemon, which in turn intrigued her, the Misdreavus, and so it followed him around. Followed him as he went around searching for a way back, and followed him when he found his parents as they left, and followed them when they left to go back home, and that's the rest is history. We became friends ever since. And so that's the long and short of it. I wish the rest of my fellow auditioneers luck, and Angel Arts, thank you for considering me, and I hope to hear from you soon.